Hi, thank you for watching. A conspiracy that has gained traction in the last 3 or 4 months is the possibility of the NFL being rigged, the NFL being scripted. I like a good conspiracy, so I looked into it. I wanted to see what people who promoted this conspiracy had to say. So I listened and I wanted to think about it. And let me begin by saying the NFL did not do themselves any favors by the poor officiating in the AFC Championship game. They did not do themselves any favors in the Super Bowl with that bad call at the end. Now, with that said, is bad calls throughout the AFC Championship game, and then a bad call in the Super Bowl. Is that evidence that the NFL is rigged or scripted like professional wrestling is? I don't think so. Not in the way that professional wrestling is. There's people that maintain that all of the NFL players are in on it. They're told what to do, and they intentionally take dives so certain teams can win. Guys, this makes no sense. Now, there'd be people up there that they'll have boneheaded plays that some players make, and they'll say, see, that player intentionally missed that tackle. See, that player intentionally fumbled the ball. People make boneheaded plays. People make mistakes. That's not evidence of a big, grand conspiracy in the entire NFL. How do I know that the NFL is not rigged? Well, one reason is greed. Yes, greed is one reason why the NFL is not rigged in the same way as professional wrestling. And I think this is something that some of these conspiracy theorists they can't understand. Would someone that is a fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh round draft pick that is struggling to make a team. Now, most players between the fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh round, they end up not making the 53 roster team of the NFL. So those that actually do make it for week one, knowing that most don't end up making it the whole year, do you think that they would risk their career on a rookie minimum salary? A minimum salary, and they would intentionally take a dive so a multimillionaire player could gain the victory? Do you really think that would happen? Do you think players that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars are going to intentionally take dives for players making millions of dollars? Or do you think it's most likely that those players who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars are going to want to overlap those that are making $1 million so they can be the millionaires? That's how the NFL works. If you're saying that the NFL is like the WWE, you're saying that you have players that don't make that much in football money compared to others that are on minimum contracts whose average career is about 3 years. But as I said, most people from the fourth round to the seventh round don't even make the 53-man roster. They don't even make the NFL. But those that do make it, the average is 3.5 years. You're telling me that those players are going to intentionally take a dive on a rookie minimum contract so those that are making millions can just make more? No. Greed would prevent people's natural competition. Do you know how much of a competitor you have to be to make the NFL? You have to be a high school football standout. Now, I played high school football. I wasn't great. I wasn't bad. I was about average. It's hard. College football is very hard. Being NFL caliber, that takes a lot of devotion. Diet, lifting weights, working out, playbooks, it's a lot of work. And you're saying someone would get to the NFL that would be on the cusp of the NFL, on the border of the NFL, and then just dog themselves, intentionally lose, and lose out on their career so the guys that are already in it would make more? No. Guys, that's not going to happen. And people are like, well, the NFL is like the WWE. Well, if you claim that, then it has to be falsifiable. Show me. If you think it's like the WWE, then predict the winners. Who do you think's going to win? Like in the W, and people were like, well, like in professional wrestling, we don't know who's going to win a match. Yeah, you do. For the most part, you know who's going to win matches cleanly. I haven't watched professional wrestling in a long time, but I watched it when I was a kid. I watched it when I was a teenager. And when the Hulk Hogan went against the Iron Sheik, did anyone think the Iron Sheik would actually cleanly beat Hulk Hogan? Really? Come on. When the big boss man, if he would have wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin, when Stone Cold was, like white hot, do you think the big boss man ever would beat Stone Cold cleanly, without interference or cheating? No. We know for the most part who's going to win and lose. But there's sometimes we don't, like when there's two big stars, like when Warrior and Hogan faced off against each other. We didn't know who was going to win that. But for most part, like when Andre the Giant, wrestled the Junkyard Dog, didn't we know Andre was going to win that match? Don't we usually know who's going to win? There's some matches we don't, but my point is that the NFL, if you're saying the NFL is like the WWE, that means that it has to be falsifiable. You have to show the pattern how the NFL is fixing games and then be able to predict who's going to win, like people can predict most of professional wrestling matches. And most people can't do that. Guys, if the NFL was rigged, the way to do it would be through the officials, not through some massive conspiracy of players. And some people say that, well, the players, it wouldn't work rigging all these players because players being in on it, you can't keep a secret that big. And I agree, you can't. But that's not my number one argument. My number one argument is that people that make a lot less wouldn't take dives for people taking a lot more, and someone wouldn't be on a team for 1 year, then get cut, just making the rookie minimum contract for 1 year and never play again. That's a big sacrifice for intentionally losing, and it wouldn't happen. So if the NFL was rigged, the way to do it would be through the refs. But I just don't. I see bad calls, but if the NFL, okay, if the NFL was rigged and the NFL wanted to make money, the way to make money is through TV viewership. If you had the Super Bowl going on, which we just had the Super Bowl, right? What team do you think would gain the most ratings? What team out of all the other teams in the NFL would secure that you could really raise advertising prices on? Well, obviously, it would be the Dallas Cowboys. And no, I'm not a Dallas Cowboy fan, but it would be the Cowboys. If you're rigging the NFL, the Rams and the Bengals would not be the two teams that you would want in last year's game. All right? I mean, the Rams, they don't have very good home game attendance in the regular season. They're not really backed that strongly by LA. And the Bengals are a small market team. This year, the Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, well, on the NFC, the Cowboys are a much bigger draw than the Eagles are. I can see the Chiefs making it. But if you're trying to script the NFL, what team in the AFC do you think would have been the feel good story? What team do you think would have got the most viewership? Obviously, the Buffalo Bills, because of what happened with Damar Hamlin. All right, Buffalo against Dallas. That's the game that would have got the most viewers. Buffalo and Dallas neither got out of the divisional round. So how can you say the NFL is scripted when if you have a script that would make money, wouldn't you go with it?